So I'm Georgia Reckerson. We're a collective of user researchers dedicated to solving the challenge of adoption and retention for Web3 and crypto-based projects. And we do this by conducting what we believe to be mission-critical user research for teams, often exploring why they don't have adoption, where they should be pivoting to, as well as coaching folks to do this important work themselves, better customer discovery. And our breadth of experience involves asking user research and, using user research and design thinking practices to help companies with a range of validation needs, testing demand, validating user journeys and designs, identifying new opportunities, and of course, supporting pivots. So earlier this year, we actually conducted an in-depth user research study into the experiences of Web3 savvy users, so people already operating in Web3, minting NFTs or using DeFi or whatever it might be, but who are brand new to NIA. And because no one is really looking at like the whole multi-platform, multi-product journey for users, only the experiences that they themselves are directly responsible for. So the first thing is about discussing your value proposition and target user, having an open and honest conversation about identifying your product assumptions, like what's baked into your idea and your business that should be tested. Our bread and butter at OpenUX is conducting customer discovery, asking good questions, interview techniques, analysis, the whole shebang, auditing your concepts, user flows, marketing, and more. We have a lot to share about our experiences working with builders, working with users. And so we'll signpost you to places that might be of support as well, and just have a helpful conversation as much as we can. These are some of the challenges that I see. So the first really is around the technology itself. The drawbacks might be more complicated UX, transaction costs, or lack of privacy. So projects really have to land on real user value in order to for their end users to overcome some of the user experience hurdles that they might come across. Tokenomics, such an integral part of the ecosystem, can also really skew incentives to make useful and usable product. This actually puts crypto in quite bad light. So it's also a detractor from other people using some products as well. So UX maturity in the space is very low. A poor understanding of like the full product design process, what the role of a product designer is. If you don't have a good UX sense of what good UX is, you might equate then that these projects that have very high TVL must have good user experience, and that's not always the case. And it costs money to use things in Web3. That is a huge blocker to adoption. The way the Ethereum protocol was designed is itself a user experience problem. Just a lot of projects have either light or no user analytics. Without robust quantitative user data, teams are effectively decision-making in the dark. And you'll see teams collecting qualitative feedback by looking only in their Discord community, listening to the loudest people's opinions. And going to your token holders and asking, what should we build next, is basically like Web 1 product development. It's crazy and really backwards thinking. And yet we see Web3 teams doing this all the time. And the case is that often people in a project's Discord are speculators, not the team's target end users. There are some themes which almost always emerge for all users. We need more try before you buy experiences. So users should not be surprised when they use a product, unless that surprise is unexpected delight. And when a user's expectations are set correctly, they understand what the product is, they trust it more, and their fear is reduced. And these things support user adoption and retention.
How do you actually get like real user feedback because they can't actually use the product yet?
It's my perspective that teams should be doing customer discovery, user testing the user flows before they write any smart contracts. Anything that you do is going to affect how users use the product.
Is it better to ship and launch, or do you consider integrating consistent customer discovery within product sprints?
Give yourself a little bit of time to do it, right? 2 weeks, it's totally doable, right? The biggest challenge for any team doing customer discovery is recruitment for the interviews. If you can't find the right people, you're going to get rubbish data at the end. If you speak to the wrong people, you'll get rubbish data at the end. We need to be aiming for the Web 2 user experience on Web 3 projects, not looking to projects with good UX in Web 3.